Ori and the Blind Forest is a platformer game that is as overwhelmingly fun as it is beautiful. The intro to the game is a stunning and wild emotional journey for the player as they experience the roller coaster of feelings that is the relationship between an innocent, young creature and its brave and benevolent caretaker. In the introduction, an emotional foundation for the journey ahead is established and a timeless bond is created between the two characters, Ori and Naru. Their heartwarming story is enough to draw any range of gamer or even non-gamer into the world of Ori and the Blind Forest. A strong theme of good is established through the great and mystical tree that feeds the Blind Forest. I found myself amazed at the beauty of this opening animated short, and I immediately knew I had used my $15 well. I was in utter shock that the story never seemed to have a dull moment. From beginning to end, I was drawn in. The gameplay of Ori and the Blind Forest takes you back to the classic styles of games like Castlevania, The Legend of Zelda, and Mega Man through its level structure. Allowing progression in the game only after learning a certain ability, I truly felt the nostalgia of some of my first games ever played. Ori puts its mark on the 2D platformer world through its eloquent movement in the game. Not only do you learn new skills as you progress through the game, but those skills also allow you to move flawlessly through the world. The controls made me feel free as I played through the game. Things like the basic double jump make Ori somersault in the air, adding to the freeness of this agile creature. As I said before, Ori gains abilities one by one, which allows for a feeling of newness constantly throughout the game. One of my favorite features of the game is that the whole game is actually connected in one giant world. This allows for endless exploration at all times. Places you are not able to access immediately left my mind to wonder what was beneath the secrets of the developers. I constantly found myself searching for these secrets. It added hours of fun and worthy experiences to the game. I personally had virtually no problem with the game at all, but at times there is a rush of trouble that you run into which requires a level of skill to get through. I found myself dying over and over in these rushes, which I like, but I can see why it may be frustrating for other players. Sound and graphics are an important aspect of every game, but in Ori and the Blind Forest, they both become their own stars. The stunning graphics of the game allow for the player to progress through the game enjoyably. Visual cues in the game are also very apparent and keep a strong theme of good versus corruption constantly throughout the game. Being my personal favorite part of the game, the soundtrack is utterly amazing. It acts as the other half of the graphics to the game. It is mystical and beautifully orchestrated to fit into the game just fine. Additionally, the Great Tree uses both aspects of graphics and sound, being that the tree speaks with a mystical voice that cannot be understood, but with the use of well-placed subtitles, the story progresses through the tree amazingly. Overall, the game has little to complain about, except that there isn't more to play. The creators of Ori and the Blind Forest take every goal needed to be achieved by a 2D platformer and excel the expectations. I honestly don't know a person who can call themselves a gamer and not enjoy this game. While the game is single player, I found myself to enjoy watching another person play the game due to its immaculate display. The last criticism I have for the game is that when you finish it, you cannot go back and discover things you skipped over. So, if you are playing, make sure what you want is done before you finish the game.